Next up in the series is 27th place, Zach Pasley. Zach is on Toru2. It looks like it is the air symbol. Yeah, it's the air symbol. And this one's really interesting because we're actually deciding to play Seizing Mainboard and Ready, Get, Set, Go. So, Zach on Toru2, lower seed in the bracket. This character choice makes sense. You know, these actions make sense for that. Again, love the idea on paper, but let's see the deck list in its entirety. So, we've got 0 gravity lift. It's a charge, it's a throw. Really good for this style of deck. Really good, really good for the grindy style. I'm not going to edit that ever. Really good for the grindy style of game that Torus end up playing. This is a card that kind of went away for a while when blocking and face shielding became pretty easy. But now that we're not seeing as much Faith Shield, and we're not seeing as much Wall Cling, Gravity Lift is making a big comeback. So, not surprised there at all. And then Indiscriminate Shock, maybe like the biggest game ender. I don't think it's the most registered because people are playing it like a 2 and a 3 of. But that should tell you something because this is like the biggest game ender and the biggest leadoff attack. And you only have to ever see like 1 or 2 of it. So... you know, double jab pummel coming in as a 3 of. That's a little surprising. You normally see this just hard jammed as a 4, but it's, you know, on a character that's not pumping damage, this isn't that important. You know, we talked, if you guys watched the Dobby deck profile, we talked a lot about this is an attack you want to dump damage on, and Toru does not do that. So... as a 3 of, pretty interesting, but here's your damage. 4 home run Comet. We're a character that puts a bunch of speed on stuff, so you know that's what it's about. This is our game ender. 3 Electric Jolt, not 4. Again, these ratios, you know, what's the total deck size? 19 attacks. Okay, this is a very slim deck, but man, Jolt is a really good card, especially when you're trying to grind people out, especially when you're trying to go tit for tat. And Toru makes some of the best use of this card, really, because of the way her response works. So that's interesting. And then Sound Waves, we're going a little risky with the 2 checks, but this card absolutely is amazing. This card does so much for you. Not that surprising to see it on the air symbol, but do you guys see what's missing? My chat sees it already. The chat knows what's going on. No invisible infiltration. There's no invisible infiltration, and the thing that makes me... so the best answer I have for no invisible infiltration is that we needed this charge lineup. We really didn't want to afford any attacks that didn't combo double jab pummel. But we're only running 3 of that, and nothing else cares about charge attacks, right? We don't have like a charged up. We don't have any other combos. So skipping ahead, the only other thing that cares about charge attacks is Jiro. We have Jiro in the sideboard, so this looks like a Jiro attack lineup. I'm with Keenan Meadows in the. On this one, this is definitely a Jiro lineup, I think. So very interesting to see. I definitely think we could, between all these actions though, like 3 infinite potential. What's our high block situation? Our high blocks are great. We have so many high blocks. We actually have so many high blocks. These could have been invisible infiltration slots. So yeah, this is maybe the first deck where I kind of actually have like a gripe. I actually have like a real bone to pick because this just isn't a Toru2 list, my guy. This just isn't the time and the place. But it was a bold choice. This is a good character pick. If you're going second, it's a good pick if you're afraid, if you want to deal with Tokoyamis for the most part. I still think Tokoyami wins this matchup, but like get your idea, you know. And then, of course, if you guys watch Top Cuts, the semifinals had an amazing Jiro mirror where Zane Landrigan pulled off a crazy maneuver by sighting into Toru2 and like foiling a sound waves because of this autopilot plus damage response. It's a super cool interaction, but it still would not have worked, you know, depending on the sequencing of the players. So it was pretty interesting, yeah. So this was like the right call, I think, for a lot of people going second as far as character. But I'm just not a believer in Toru for the most part. Especially like both Torus come out of sideboards a lot. Both of them come in like the I care about going second world, and it just, you're already so far behind. You just need to play the better character. Like, you're already behind going second. I think you actually just play a better character overall than like a character who's better at going second. Because Jiro's better at going first and second. It's just how I feel, especially if you're playing just Jiro attacks, man. Like Breaker 2, the air symbol has like one Breaker 2 and it's character locked. Come on, my dude. That's heartbreaking. And the next Breaker 2 that air gets is also character locked. Spoiler alert, it's a high block though. 4 cheerleader, we're Hagekiri first form. It's probably not something you use too often, I don't think, but I don't know, I guess depending if you have like multiples out and only like one momentum, or you're not going to have a bunch, but this is a good hate piece. Specialist of Sound is insanely good defense. Latent skill is that diggy duggy kind of thing where you really just like combine with double jet pummel. If we have damage pump, we will get there eventually. Small limber, it's our 1/1. It's really cool. Readies itself. We don't have too many ways to activate it though. Pretty much just cheerleader removing for cost and release cost, right? Oh, home run comet on offense. That's cool. These go really good with 1.3 million. The synergy between them makes sense. You can either use it for like commit to stun one and then ready it and then get 1/1, right? Like you can get both. So like that's just a big deal. But this is, yeah, okay, yeah. I was just about to mention it. Tim Keefe mentioned it in the chat. Small and limber benefits really heavily from cards like Invisible Infiltration. Like, has the card leave the stage, you get to ready it, then it comes back. Just, yeah, man, I keep going back to the Infiltration. And again, these are heavy spam decks. This symbol does not, or this format does not favor 2 diffs at all, right? Like, we're heavy action count, and so we need lots of spam. We need to have a good build going first, or turn 1, I should say. Because I'm pretty sure Zach was on the lower side of the bracket. Yeah, destined for mainstream, staple 4 of, love this choice, 3 6 checks in our deck. I'm not the biggest fan of running like more than 1 or 2 of this, but I would run a buddy block. Like I would just mainboard the Jiro. I've done that in the past. But we needed low blocks actually, so this was the right call in that respect. 2 basic training, that's fucking weird. I'm being so mean to this deck list, but that's just fucking weird, guys. We're running 0 gravity lift. We need to make our double jabs worth blocking. It's just super good. And Toru wants to push you into deadlock. Like, oh, that's fucking weird, dude. Just play 4 like everyone else. Yeah. Yeah, man, just play 4 of this. I know we're trying to keep the deck slim, but yeah. Release is a staple. We have 3 of that. Requesting is a staple. We want momentum. Our sideboard has like really powerful pieces. Like encouraging should have been mained. We really needed like 1 mained, one like these could have been split, right? I wonder how much experience Zach has playing Toru2. I know he's got some experience playing Jiro. And I almost guarantee if he was on the top side of the bracket, if he was like, you know, like above 12th seed, 10th seed, and somewhere in that ballpark, you start to go first a lot, and I think he would have just been Jiro. But yeah, I think this was like this feels like a last minute thing. This feels like so many people for both Toru1 and Toru2, they just slap this character down and say it's strong. It's good at this going second, you know, thing, and it has a nice hate piece, and it's not fleshed out. It's not like you need your whole sideboard to be this. Like you need this to be a transformation sequence. If you're gonna play a character like this in your sideboard, you need your sideboard to be a Sailor Moon transformation sequence. You need your sideboard to like radically change the way your deck plays, I think, to accommodate this, and just yeah, they have she has a character specific card, man. I'm not upset, you know, like he obviously made the choices he did for the reasons he did. It just, all of this just seems like some generic good stuff error deck, but it's not like honed. This wasn't like a finely tuned deck. There's not like, it doesn't seem like there's specific pieces from, you know, testing. Like let's look at let's look back at Andrew Holder's list really quick. Like you can see like important one-ofs and like different ratios for certain cards based on like what you'd have to perceive as like his experiences, or you know, just calls for the meta. I mean, actually for basic training, like there's some weird tech stuff, but it's, you know, like there's just some iteration on a deck, right? And I just what's really sad is like I could see him just still beating the shit out of people because indiscriminate shock and zero gravity lift just chew people up. So really, I'm really curious. I wish I had the bracket in front of me now, because I really wish I knew like what people played and got eliminated by, and it probably would have helped my analysis a little bit. You know, just to know like, oh well, this just was like a bad call into what you end up getting paired into, because these are good cards. All of these cards are strong cards. That may be arrogant, but it's a sound waves thing. But these are all just like potent cards, and like they do not come together to make this deck flow. I respect the idea. I like the idea on paper, but I can see why this deck could, I don't know, clunk up, you know? So, and I would absolutely not want to be facing like a Tokoyami with this list anyways. Like this is, yeah, I don't know. Like this seems like it was specifically teched to try and beat like Tokoyami's coming at you or Texas Smash decks, but like this deck has no tech for... This deck has no real tech for a Jiro matchup, and this deck has no real tech for an Ojiro matchup. So... I don't know, Chad is saying Zach played into Clinton's Jiro and he went for a direct counter pick, and I just... Oh, I guess you can... I guess because of the sound waves thing, right? Like, because if they only have the one momentum, you can mess up a sound waves play. Yeah, I don't see any real tech for this with Jiro, and I'd probably rather fight a Toko because I can maybe release my way out and zonk him once, but... Moral of the story, guys, just play Jiro. Just go first and play Jiro, I guess, is really it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you know, I got my chat giving me all the info here. They would rather play Jiro. Tell me down in the comments below. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think about this list. What would you change from this Hero League Championship list? Other than that, Zach Pasley has been a friend of the channel for a while. He had an absolutely great run. Got second place at the first Set 2 regional. So Yeah, he was joking last night or in the main Discord that he did really good at one event and then did really mediocre for the rest of the events. But that is better than most people. You know, doing really good at one event and hanging in there and showing up and being mediocre, being in like top 32 of every other event is still a high percentile. You know, that still makes you like one of the 32 best players in the world. So congratulations to Zach Pasley. I'm sure I'll see this guy around a lot, and I don't know, maybe he'll be beating my ass on stream because we've got some games on the YouTube channel you guys should check out where he smokes my Sato deck, I'm pretty sure. It's either Mineta or Sato. Yeah, it's Sato 2. I play Sato 2, and he just absolutely annihilates me. But congratulations, Zach. I really hope to see you at more events, bud. And hey, one deep run is all it takes.